Now at 5, zoning restrictions block the Good Neighbor Project from buying a Miami church building. Plus, the Quapaw Nation hosts its first ever walk to raise domestic violence awareness. And
the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is put to the test after recent acts of violence. I'm Erica Brown with reaction from President Trump and his calls for concessions in the war in Ukraine.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A community organization in Miami, Oklahoma hopes to open a warming and cooling center, but it seems they've hit a roadblock. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. The Good Neighbor Project helps folks in the community with basic needs, from hygiene to addiction, and sometimes even to simply lend an ear. They wanted to buy the Northwest Assembly of God Church, but due to zoning restrictions, they're unable to move forward. Rick Aldridge, the co-founder of Good Neighbor Project, wants to stress that they were not planning a shelter, just a warming and cooling center. They're assessing the next steps.
Talking to the city planning folks and addressing to them on what our facility is going to do, what it's going to be like. So it's not really a dead topic. We do have that option. I just have to get our folks together, our board together, and say, hey, do we want to continue pursuing this?
The city of Miami says the Good Neighbor Project can go before the zoning board to address the zoning issue. Barton County, Missouri voters will decide whether to extend the ambulance district's current sales tax to online and out-of-county purchases. It's called the use tax. Right now, that local sales tax helps pay for ambulances, equipment, and training. But it only applies when people shop inside the county. The new measure would apply the same rate to online and out-of-area purchases, helping keep revenue local. The question will appear on the November 4th ballot. We're going to have a lot more for you on this tonight at 6. The Quapaw Nation invited the public out to its first ever domestic violence awareness walk today. The walk brought a good number of people to participate. Organizers say the goal of the event is to raise awareness and stand against domestic violence.
It feels good to know that that our advertisement has reached a crowd of folks that are outside of our norm, and 75 people is quite a few people, I think, to be able to participate in our walk.
The hope is to grow the walk and make it an annual event. Feels like fall out there, isn't that nice? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Henny.
It actually does, and it's actually warmer today than what we saw yesterday with the strong cold front that rolled through on Saturday, but we have another one which has been working through this afternoon. That's why it's been so windy. Look at the northerly winds now kicking in at about 10 to 20 ahead of the front. The front's right on the I-44 corridor. You can see those winds are kind of gusting much stronger, especially along and south of the front. But our gusts stay up there tonight and then into the morning hours for us tomorrow. So it is going to stay on the windy side, but this is due to a front. So a front draped right through here, but there's no moisture with it. So we're going to stay on the dry side, but our temperatures will take a dip. We're going to go all the way down into the mid 40s once again by the morning hours. More heavy rain in the forecast. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. President Trump had a warning for Hamas today after a weekend of violence which threatened the fragile ceasefire in Gaza. Erica Brown is at the White House with more on that, plus what the president had to say about Ukraine's chances of victory over Russia and trade talks with China.
At the White House Monday, President Trump signed an agreement with Australia's Prime Minister on rare earths and critical minerals. During the meeting, President Trump also announced plans to visit China fairly early next year and warned of even bigger tariffs on Chinese imports if a trade agreement isn't reached soon.
China's paying 55% and a potential 155% come November 1st unless we make a deal.
And just days after his White House meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump expressed doubt on whether Ukraine could win its war with Russia.
They could still win it. I don't think they will, but they could still win it.
President Trump has called for an immediate ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, with Russia keeping most of the Ukrainian territory it currently occupies. Zelensky has repeatedly rejected that idea. Over the weekend, a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was put to the test after Israel's military launched strikes in Gaza following an attack that killed 2 Israeli soldiers. Hamas denied responsibility, but President Trump blamed them for violating the ceasefire.
They're going to be very good, they're going to behave, they're going to be nice, and if they're not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them if we have to. They'll be eradicated.
Trump said that didn't mean U.S. boots on the ground, but that there were many countries who'd sign on to the deal who said they'd be willing to, quote, take care of the situation. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Vice President J.D. Vance is on his way to Israel, where he's expected to meet this week with Israel's Prime Minister. Boy, a terrifying mid-air scare this weekend when a lithium-ion battery caught fire on a flight from China to South Korea. Look at this. The video shows the crew rushing to put out the flames. Incidents like this keep happening, even though airlines and airports are cracking down. The airline says the lithium battery stored in a passenger's bag spontaneously caught fire, forcing the Airbus A321 to make an emergency landing in Shanghai. The FAA reports at least 62 incidents involving lithium batteries leading to smoke, fire, or extreme heat on flights in the first 9 months of this year. Thieves pulled off a brazen heist at the Louvre in broad daylight yesterday. The burglars used a ladder to break an upstairs window while tourists walked nearby. They targeted the gallery where France's crown jewels were displayed. In just 7 minutes with a circular saw, the thieves stole 9 priceless pieces, including a pearl and diamond tiara made for Napoleon III's wife. The Louvre remains closed for a second day as police investigate. Still ahead, turning what's old into something new.
We're going from the thrift rack to the runway. I'm Jared Hill with the story of a designer behind the ultimate upcycle, plus some tips on how you can spruce up some of the things you find at the secondhand store.
But first, the remarkable story of the Blind Baseball Association. That's coming up in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a group of high schoolers who are blind are getting a chance to play baseball and perfect their skills. The clinic offers the students a unique opportunity to play the game they love. Vanessa Murdoch has their story.
You want this elbow should be this high as you throw the ball.
Throwing, hitting, and running bases. The United States Blind Baseball Association introduced the basics for students at New York Institute for Special Education in the Bronx. The adapted game is 100% audible, says USBBA President and CEO Ed Plumacher.
Now in our game, you hear the sound.
The jingle essential in hitting and catching. Clapping and voice cues come into play for throwing and running. Required equipment, a blindfold.
Everybody have to wear this because this game is all about listening.
Senior Edwin Vidal says exposure to a new sport is fun. The best part so far?
Probably the running because it's the easiest.
It's easy.
Yeah, the rest of the skills are like very, very hard.
The accuracy comes as no surprise to adaptive phys ed teacher Karina Cam.
Well, we train really hard with throwing throughout the school year just in adaptive PE class.
And sports have been a big part of the curriculum since the school opened in 1831.
The U.S. Blind Baseball Association is also hoping to find some new recruits with raw talent.
We are launching a youth initiative program in New York City starting next spring. We're in Central Park.
The goal, grow the sport and develop a larger pool of athletes to represent the U.S. at international competition. Edwin says he's up for the challenge. He can handle anything a seeing person can.
Just because we're blind doesn't mean we're less capable.
Oh, nice!
Vanessa Murdoch, CBS News, New York.
New research suggests people with advanced lung or skin cancer who got the COVID-19 vaccine live significantly longer than people who did not. The University of Florida study found cancer patients who got the vaccine within 100 days of starting immunotherapy drugs, saw their survival rates nearly double. It's believed the COVID mRNA vaccine may wake up the immune system against cancer as well. People who are considered skinny fat, they may have a bigger risk of heart disease. A McMaster University study found even some people who appear lean may have hidden fat deep in the abdomen and liver that damages arteries. This type of fat also increases the risk of diabetes and high blood pressure. The study shows that body mass index and waistline size tell only part of the story. And a new approach to helping prevent peanut allergies in kids appears to be working. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia says food allergy rates among kids are declining since new guidelines went into place. The new guidelines advise parents to introduce peanuts to infants early, which is shown to lower their risk of developing peanut allergies by more than 80%. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, Designers proves that you can create custom gowns from thrift store clothing at better prices.
Plus, we have another cold front shifting through for us right now, so cooling down. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a great Monday for us today. Plenty of sunshine, a little bit on the windy side. We've had gusts kind of in that 40-ish, 45 mile per hour range at times as a cold front has been shifting through. It's actually shifting through right now. We just don't really have any clouds or rain with it, but you can see the system kind of wrapping up across the northern parts of the plains. But this is going to cool us back down. Today was above average. We pushed 80, and then we'll be in the 60s for us tomorrow. So we're going to cool right back down. All right, look at the winds. They're switching out of the northwest now at about 10 to 20 miles per hour due to that front. So you got southwest wind here, northwest wind here, and those gusts will come down a bit for us tonight. So by morning, we'll only have gusts kind of 10 to 15. They may pick up a little bit tomorrow afternoon again, kind of northerly winds gusting 10 to about 20, but not as windy as what we have seen throughout the daytime hours today. All right, let me take you through time. We're going to stop at about 6:30 in the morning. Look at these lows, kind of 46, 47, 48 degrees, so a chilly start across the region. As we go to the noon hour, lower 60s. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us kind of mid to upper 60s, 66 to about 68, 69 degrees, pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. So Tuesday, a great fall day. Tuesday night, we drop back again, lower 40s, another chilly start on Wednesday. And then as we go through Wednesday afternoon, we get a southwesterly wind, so a smidge warmer. I think most of us are going to be near 70 by the time Wednesday afternoon rolls around. All right, 46 to start, 63 by noon, high temp, 68 on your Tuesday afternoon. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We are looking at downtown Joplin, and through the evening we slide into the 60s, 50s pretty quickly with that front that has rolled through. And our temperatures are very comfortable. It is warmer. It's 81 in Miami Grove and Jay, but you got 76 in Nevada. Chanute is sitting at 74 degrees. And look at this storm system kind of wrapping up. So this will keep our temperatures in check to kind of where they should be for this time of the year as we go through the next few days. Let's watch this system push east, but here comes our next wave, and this is going to roll in late Thursday into Friday. And then look at this, even as it pushes out by Sunday, here comes another storm system digging in. So we're going to get decently active weather as we go through the next week or so. Let me continue through the rest of the week. So here's Thursday, showers increasing late. This is a slow moving system. It sits on us. So not really thunderstorms, mainly showers, maybe some thunder showers. This is all day Friday. So this is going to be most likely wet for high school football Friday night. Even on Saturday, we stick around with the showers across the region. This system will exit, and then we're going to reload. Another system will drop in as we go into next Monday. So staying kind of active over the next several days. 68 tomorrow, back to 74 Wednesday, 75 on Thursday, back down into the mid 60s Friday and Saturday. Sunday looks great, high temp of 68. So it feels like much closer to where we should be.
And that's a welcome change for a lot of folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, if you're looking for events in the 4 states, but you don't know where to turn, just scan this handy QR code and straight to the events page of our website, KUAMnewsnow.com. You'll find information on all kinds of fall events, haunted houses, and so on. That's the events page at KUAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, governments, universities, and companies worldwide get hit by a major Amazon outage. Topping today's Consumer Watch, governments, universities, and companies around the world were affected by a major outage of Amazon's cloud computing system today. The problem with Amazon Web Services lasted several hours before services were mostly recovered. Snapchat, Coinbase, and the McDonald's app were among those affected. Amazon says it's working on a full recovery. There's a designer shaking up the world of fashion, taking clothing from thrift stores around the country and turning them into high-end, runway-ready designs. It's the ultimate example of upcycling as more people grow conscious of textile waste and the rising cost of clothing. Jared Hill has more.
In the high-priced world of high fashion, Evan Hirsch is designing haute couture from the bargain bin.
It used to be a Halloween costume.
This ball gown is one of nearly 24 upcycled garments the designer made for Goodwill's first ever New York Fashion Week runway show.
This originally was like a short lace dress, and I completely added this new skirt.
It's a partnership that started with a TikTok.
I found a dress at the thrift store, added over 2,000 beads by hand, and returned it straight back to the rack. I had never worked with garments that were pre-loved.
Now, reimagining thrifted clothing has become a bit of a calling. A dress could be upcycled into something that would be good for like a prom.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like so many people want a custom one-of-a-kind dress for their special day. And I think this is a great way to do it at a better price point and also in a really eco-friendly way.
With the rise in cheap fast fashion, textile waste has ballooned to 92 million tons a year. But James Reinhart, CEO and founder of online consignment retailer ThredUp, says he's starting to see a shift.
I think people are reacting to the sort of proliferation of products and product pollution in apparel and looking for a different way to consume.
Lawmakers are also looking to tackle textile waste. In 2024, California passed the nation's first law requiring clothing producers fund and participate in the collection, repair, and recycling of their products. Hirsch is hoping his story can inspire.
What would you recommend for someone who's in a store looking at garments and maybe can't yet see the second life?
I would just think about what you want to wear. Like, I would start backwards and think about something that you would dream to own.
Threading a way to a more sustainable future. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Hirsch's designs featured in the Goodwill Fashion Show are being auctioned off at shopgoodwill.com. The Department of Agriculture says more than 90,000 pounds of MCI Foods prepackaged frozen breakfast burritos have been recalled because they contain eggs that are possibly tainted with listeria. A post by the department says some of the products might have been shipped to schools as part of the National School Lunch and Breakfast Program. The FDA says no illnesses have been reported so far. Institutions have been advised not to serve the wraps and to throw them away. Two major French companies, cosmetics giant L'Oreal and luxury group Kering, announced they're entering a strategic partnership focused on beauty and wellness. Under the terms, Kering is selling its beauty division to L'Oreal in a deal worth more than $4 billion. This gives the cosmetics company control of House of Creed fragrances and licenses for beauty and fragrance products from Kering's high-end brands, including Gucci, Bottega, Veneta, and Balenciaga. The sale is believed to help alleviate some of Kering's high debt. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, golf carts are rolling off the course and onto city streets, prompting safety concerns and some new regulations. We're going to take you to Michigan, where golf carts are becoming the center of a community debate. Then on KOAM News at 6, Barton County's ambulance district could lose funding as more people shop online instead of locally. Plus, hear more on the Domestic Violence Awareness Walk. And in sports, a story about McDonald County High School football. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. It's been really windy out there, Doug.
Yeah, super windy today. We had at times winds gusting kind of 40 to 45. Those are going to calm down a bit. Still going to be breezy on your Tuesday. Quite a bit cooler, over 10 degrees cooler, a high temp of 68. Back into the 70s Wednesday and Thursday. And the rain, widespread rain returns again late this week.
Look at those high temps. I'm loving this
pretty
cooler
good
weather. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we'll be right back here at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.